Hey guys, welcome to Career Notes. We are so glad you are joining us today. I've got my friend Martha Ivester here, and we are talking about something really important in the workplace, humility. Where did you learn about humility?
I learned it in a very early on in my career. I was living in Hong Kong and I was working, and I don't even remember who said it to me, but someone said the best piece of career advice that they had ever received was to treat everyone like they could be your next boss. And I really took that to heart because, you know, when you go through life and you go through careers, you never know, reporting structures change, your company gets acquired, you move to a different role. And if you get too precious about, who your boss is or who your team is, it can really hold you back in your career. I had the opportunity to work for Nike, which was a great company, but they reorged all the time. And so one
you're
day,
moving with somebody else all the time.
Like I might be reporting to a vice president one day, and then the next day I'm reporting into my peer. And if you don't get too precious about that, things like that, then you don't get your panties in a wad. And,
so, okay. And we're out in the park today because I thought it would be so much fun to have a friendly conversation about something that can always be...
And I love the outdoors.
But it can always be something that's so stuffy, right? When we're talking about our careers, but at the end of the day, it's really something that's so fluid. And that's where humility really plays a big key of being able to stay fluid.
And I think it's really important too when you think about the people that you work with and you want everyone to be included. One thing they say at Google a lot is that you have to just assume that, you're the least smart person in the room. And again, that's where humility comes into play.
Right.
But it's really important to just always give credit to the different perspectives that people bring and make people feel comfortable about sharing their own ideas, that they're not going to be judged. And that's where, again, as a leader, if you can practice humility, you're going to invite that type of conversation.
Aren't you going to also invite more conversation and more internal leadership for others to rise up?
Absolutely. It's really important for people to see that you're, giving space for them to shine and to grow. It's, again, if I sort of look at someone and I think there's no reason, even though you're, reporting up through my chain, that I couldn't potentially be under you tomorrow. And that's fine. And I'm good with that.
Things change quickly, don't they?
Things do change quickly.
So one of the other things, though, that's a challenge, especially for women, is if we're humble, we don't always celebrate our successes.
That is, I think, one of the biggest challenges, and that's why I chose this word. Because for me, it's been very hard for me to feel comfortable in promoting myself. Yeah. And particularly in the workplace, and there's a ton of data that supports this, that women in general do find it hard to promote their own accomplishments. And as a result, when they do, sometimes they're seen as bragging, sometimes they're seen as pushy or bossy, and that can work against women. And so part of it is teaching ourselves how to promote ourselves better, but also part of it is just changing the way women are perceived and others are perceived in the workplace when they promote themselves. So I've been teaching this amazing course called I Am Remarkable.
Right? And with I Am Remarkable, there's some really important lessons that maybe folks out of the Google family should learn.
Well, and what's cool is that it started as an internal program at Google, and it has now grown, and they teach different groups way outside of Google. So what it does is it identifies some of the challenges just culturally that people have against women and other underrepresented groups with self-promotion. So one of the really interesting ones that I think is important for anyone in the workplace is if you think about mentorship relationships.
Right.
So women are often mentored they're given advice on what they need to do to change to fit in. Men, on the other hand, are mentored by their mentors promoting their accomplishments. And
so very different.
Women do this as well. It's not just male mentors that do this. Female mentors do this as well. They mentor men and women differently. And so it's really important for a woman who is in a leadership role to be very sensitive about how they're mentoring their female versus their male counterparts, and to really help the women promote themselves in the workplace.
And by doing that then changes the culture at a very grassroots level.
Absolutely. But that's where you have to balance that with that humility, right?
So for someone who is in the workforce navigating this, what is your pro tip for them on how to either improve their humility or to leverage it?
So I'd say for improving it, just remember that piece of advice. Always treat everyone as if they could be your next boss. That's just a good rule of thumb.
Right.
For learning self-promotion, the most important thing is practice. And that's where we really encourage people to write down, a series of accomplishments, whether it's personal, I bake a great apple pie.
She does. She does make, and good casserole too, by the way.
Or professional, you know, I achieved X% sales growth and the biggest in my function or whatever it is. And if you practice that and you practice it with your colleagues,
right.
you practice it with your friends, with your family, standing in front of the mirror, you get more and more comfortable practicing it. So the first is being aware of the issue. The second is practicing it. And then obviously the third is putting it into place when you go in to talk about promotion or you talk about a performance review or you're applying for a new job.
And at the end of the day, don't forget, humility. Someone else could be your boss, right?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. We really appreciate it. Hey guys, we are so glad you watched Career Notes. If you like this, I want you to hit work life below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and write a word that you would love us to talk about. Until next time, be bold, be brave, be you. Bye.